Hey, what's going on, comic book community? Lumbox Love Affair here. I have a CGC unboxing. Actually, these have already been unboxed. I took them out yesterday and filmed a video, and I realized I didn't want to use that video. I didn't like how it turned out. I rushed it. There was more I wanted to talk about these books. So I just decided, let's reshoot it. I've already seen the grades, so they're not going to be a surprise. But what I can tell you is that this is my comic haul from Baltimore Comic Con, which was in October. It is now at the end of January, and these books came back. These were signature series submissions through a facilitator at the Jim Shooter booth. Jim Shooter of Marvel Comics fame, editor-in-chief, Secret Wars, and then Valiant Comics, and then he kind of went off the rails with Defiant Comics and so forth back in the early to mid 90s. So Jim Shooter is a legend in Marvel Comics lore, and I've always wanted to meet him and get some signatures, and so I decided to bite the bullet and got 5 books submitted, signed, and they are back to me. So what I thought happened is CGC sent me a package, and it's still in transit, but I thought that package was what I was receiving, which was only 1 book. And I felt the package that came yesterday, and I was like, this is heavy. And it had a different person's name on it, plus my name. So I thought CGC sent me the wrong comic book, so I was really worried, so I opened them up fast, which hence why my video turned into a little bit of a crapshoot of what I put out there. So the other name on the label was the facilitator's name, so that is why there were 2 names. Luckily, it was the right address. These are the books I've been waiting for. So 5 books here, 1 Marvel, 4 Valiant. I'm a big Valiant Comics fan. That actually was right at the beginning of my comic book collecting. I started buying Valiant Comics. My uncle introduced me to Valiant around the time where Unity, the crossover that happened, their first major crossover that put them on the map, in my opinion. So I got hooked and collected them for a good 2, 3, 4 years, and I still have a special place in my heart for Valiant Comics. But before I get into the Valiants, I did submit this Marvel Age 12. So I do have Secret Wars #1 signed by Jim Shooter, John Beatty, and Mike Zeck. And I got that done through a CGC facilitated signing they did last year. This is the preview of Secret Wars, the preview of the symbiote costume for Spider-Man. So it's red and black rather than the white and black. But this came back in 9/6. So I was really happy about this because I have 2 copies. This one was the less dirty of the 2. I got them cleaned and pressed by the facilitator. And yes, so it says first black costume concept art, and it predates ASM 252. Jim Shooter signed it in paint pen right up there. The covers are pretty busy, so I was trying to pick a place where the paint pen would stand out. It's brighter when it first gets applied, and then it kind of gets a little settled in as it dries. So it's not as bright as I was hoping, and that's a trend with some of these books that I have here, but I'm still happy with the placement. So 9/6 for this Marvel Age, which is a great book, a great cover, and just a nice book to add to my Secret Wars collection. Next up is one of the 0 issues that I submitted, and between DC and Valiant, there were a lot of 0 issues happening in the early 90s. And so Archer and Armstrong 0 was one of the first that I picked up. And it was a sort of a prelude to Unity. It didn't quite tie into the storyline, but this one is the gold variant. And I got a 9. This is a gold variant in the logo. So Valiant did a thing probably before incentive covers were a thing back in the early 90s, as these were retailer incentives. Not necessarily incentives, but more thank yous for bringing on Valiant and for supporting them. So these were sometimes sent out to collectors as thank yous. So as a kid, my mom made a cake because she had a little cake business on the side, and she put Valiant logos on it, and I submitted that, and I got a Valiant comic in the mail. I think it was Deathmate, or was it Turok? It was Turok #1 gold. So for all those Turok fans out there. But Jim Shooter signed this Archer and Armstrong. This is the gold variant. It's a 9. I think I had them press this one, but I can't remember. I thought this was a pretty clean. I think the 9 was a little severe on this, but on the other hand, I was pleasantly surprised on some of these other books in this lot. So he gives a little bit, he takes a little bit. But awesome Barry Windsor Smith artwork. I love Barry Windsor Smith, Weapon X fame, but he did a lot of Valiant comics, and especially Archer and Armstrong in the early run. So 9.0, gold logo variant. And this is the first appearance of Armstrong and Archer, both of them. Next up was another Zero issue, but it was a mail-away version. So it was Magnus Robot Fighter, and it's a 9.6. Very happy with this. The signature placement was where I asked for it, but I kind of am second-guessing it and think it would be good up here somewhere. Alas, I didn't want to take up a lot of that empty space and fill it, so that's why I put it down here. It was much brighter before as he was signing it because of the paint pen. I still think it's great. It brings out the red in the eyes and in his tunic. But 9.6, this is the mail-away version. There's no price on it. This was for the coupons that were collected for Magnus 1 through 8, I think. Had cards in them, and you had to cut out the coupon. So when you buy 1 through 8 in the back issue market, you have to be careful that the coupon's not cut out. Because then if you do go to graded ever, it's incomplete. And does this say mail-away version? Yes, mail order edition. It does note that. So Bob Layton cover, Jim Shooter obviously was tied to Valiant, and he did the story for this one. So beautiful cover. Love this run, and a 9.6, close to perfect, still near mint plus. Another Zero issue and another incentive. There were so many books I had for Jim Shooter, and I might have done a video where I showed the stack of books for Baltimore Comic-Con that I was entertaining for various artists to get signed. And so I had a couple more in my arsenal, but because he was charging like $25 a signature, plus the facilitation fee to get these graded, I didn't want to break the bank. So Unity, number 0, red variant. This one I bought for $1. $1. And this is like a $100 to $200 book, probably more. It's a harder to find variant cover. It typically is a blue logo, and this was given away for free to anyone at the time. Not the red, but the blue. And it was meant to jumpstart the storyline. It was a really like a 16-page story or something. So it has many, if not all, of the Valiant comic heroes at the time on the cover. I love this. I would love to get Bob Layton to do an homage to this cover. I've seen some people do that for sketch covers one day, because that'll be pricey. But a favorite comic of mine. I own the regular edition, many copies of this, but I was shocked to find this many, many years ago for $1 in the bins, and I snagged it. So 9.4. And I did have this pressed because I did think it had some issues. So I'm glad that it came back so nice. Last but not least is Unity number 1. So this is the end of the storyline, and this is the Platinum edition, right? Yes. So they had a gold logo variant and a Platinum edition. I don't remember which one is rarer, but there's one that's more than the other. These are not huge dollar books. You can find these pretty affordably. 9.6, really awesome to get that grade. I probably had some higher grade comics from Valiant to get signed, but I really wanted to pick the special ones for me. And these are all PC books. These are ones that I love. So again, the blue, color coding it with the blue logo and with the pants and exo and the cape, just trying to make those pop. I think that looks stunning. And this book does go with the Zero. So this is the first part of the chapter, and this is chapter 18. So this is the final issue, and it leads right into Rise Zero, which I happen to have a signed copy by Layton and Shooter that I bought off eBay years ago. So I did not get him to sign Rise Zero, which would have been another obvious choice. So that is the run of Valiant that I chose. Could have done Shadow Man and some of the other ones, but I just had to pick these. So yeah, exciting. 1 Marvel, 4 Valiant, and that's my Jim Shooter haul. And it's interesting. So I look at getting these signatures as sort of check marks. These are artists that I love. These are books that I love, and I don't know if I need to get another Jim Shooter signature. I might. I have other Valiant books signed by him that I bought off eBay over the years, but I don't think I need any more. So there you go. So that's my quick haul. That's from a belated Baltimore Comic Con haul. Thanks for watching. Make sure you stay subscribed. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Feel free to comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're a Valiant comic junkie or if you really hated it. They were my jam back when I was a teenager. And even before, I think I was not even a teenager when I first started collecting Valiant. And they were high end. They were the glossy paper. They were $2.50 each. And so on my $5 allowance, I could only afford 2 comics maybe a week, maybe a little bit more depending on if I saved. So Valiant was high on the list, as well as my Spider-Man junkie and my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Adventures, which I collected back in the early 90s. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. All right, bye-bye.